Rose Lewis has got a great recipe blog site. And if you go over to the blog section, you will have access to all the recipes that she has posted in her blog. But you want to entice people on your homepage. So when they come to your homepage, they can see a little bit of a sneak peek to those recipes, as well as click on them, and it will take you into the blog section. And that is usually done with a post grid. And I think that's the most basic post grid element that you can get on your front page and your home page. And here is the example of the post grid. With the ultimate add-ons for Gutenberg from Brainstorm Force, you can bring in these blocks and you can display them on any page, which gives you an archive overview of certain posts that you decide to display on that page. There are various kinds. For example, you have masonry, you have the carousel. This is the most basic one, and I think all you need. Really, it's a great little add-on, and it makes it so easy for people to see an overview of what's going on with your blocks. Let's go into the page, edit it, and remember, if you are looking for the ultimate add-ons for Gutenberg, this is a free plugin. You can add it onto your WordPress editor. Simply go into the WordPress repository, look for ultimate add-ons for Gutenberg, install it, and voila, you can use it. It's automatically included within the WordPress editor after installation. To bring in the block, you simply go to any area where you can bring in a block, and you can look for the ultimate add-ons blocks, and then over here, you're going to look for post grid. Sometimes it's going to be a challenge to find it, and I'm very good at not seeing it, even though it's there second from the beginning. If you don't find it, simply type in there post, and it will give you all the various blocks that are related to post, and then you can click on the post grid. And as it comes in, you're going to see it basically looks exactly like the one that we've already worked with a few more changes. So let's see what we've got going on over here. Make sure that you've clicked on it so that you can interact with the options in the sidebar on the right. And you will see it says post grid at the top. Make sure you see that, otherwise you are editing something else. You have the option to choose between post and pages, categories, and how many you want to display. Currently you have 6, and like the one that we have, we can reduce that to 3. If you want to have 4, but maybe 2 columns, put it on 4, and then here you have access to reduce the columns and make it look like this one. Let's put it back to 3, and then reduce our number of items also to 3 so that it is nicely aligned. I like this equal height function over here. That makes sure that if you are using a background, that the background color will be equal at the bottom. So remember, you don't need it if you're not going to have a background color, but if you do some kind of overlay, make sure you activate equal height. That's the general functions. Over here, you have the control over the image and whether it's at top or background. Background is always a nice option. I just recommend that if you're going to use it, make sure you have enough contrast. So if your text is dark, like in this case, you will need to have a white overlay and make sure that your opacity is a little bit higher so that people can read what's going on. I do like the image at the top, so let's put it back there at the top, collapse this, and then you have control over which metadata and which content you want to display. Show title, yes, we want that. Show author. If it's only you writing this blog, I would deactivate the author because really, they're not going to guess. This is Rose, what's her name? I forgot, Rose Lewis. But if you have multiple contributors and you are a blogging site with many editors, then you're going to activate show author, otherwise no. The date I think is always a good idea. You want to know if this recipe is recent, if the site is being updated, and how often new things are being uploaded. Show comments, you can do that. Show taxonomy, and then you also have the ability to show the excerpt. You control the excerpt length over here. Read more link is your button down there, your call to action to take you into the blog, and you have all the normal controls that you want to have for your button and styling options as well. Typography gives you control over fonts and their sizes, and then colors here. If you want to remove that background, you can do so here. Change it a little bit. Clear. And you see we are getting quite closer to the one that we have down here. I see they actually removed the button. So if we go to the read more link, let's deactivate that as well. Go to our content and reduce our excerpt length. Something smaller like this. Yeah, a little bit more, give us 3 lines over there. And now we basically have carbon copies, except that I have the author here with the date, and here I have the date with the comments. Then you have control over spacing, which will allow for a little bit more placement if you need that. So if you want a bigger gap between these 3 columns, that is the row gap. And you also have a column gap here at the bottom. Content padding, you can see what that does. And then you have control separately for the content padding when you go into mobile, and then more spacing options. Let's go update this and preview it on the front end, and also have a look at how this will look on a tablet as well as a mobile device. I'm guaranteed that it will look okay, except we have to add maybe space there. And that spacing that I then talked about will not add spacing. Where was that? Column gap. Let's bring in a spacer over here. Type in spacer. Drop it there. Update. And go view it on the front. There we go. Looks much better. Remember, these are 2 different blocks just for display purposes. Activate our developer mode so we can have a look if tablet will be fine. If we go to tablet and you see here, we need a little bit of a gap, and that is the section. Click on it to activate it, and then we go to spacing, and this is the column gap that we have here at the bottom. So remember, we have to add that space, because if we don't, we're going to run into problems on our mobile and tablet devices. I'm going to put it on 10. Let's have a look at how that will translate to the front. Update. And now you can see there that we have that extra little space for the column gap that we had needed. Let's bring that in a little bit more, and I'm going to type in there 25. Update that. And before we go to the front, let's go to General. And then here, where we go to columns, on tablet, I'm going to put it on 1. And the reason I'm putting it on 1 is because otherwise it's going to look like this. Or 3. I can put it on 3. Let's rather put it on 3. But for mobile display, I'm definitely going to leave it at 1. I wish we had some more control over the number of items as well for a responsive display. But to control that, you do it here with columns. So let's go back here, refresh this page, and see how it will look now on our tablet. That's it. If you think it's too narrow for a tablet, you will then go ahead and you will go and reduce that to just 1 column. Just go back because I clicked on it, and then let's see how it will look on a cell phone display. This is a Apple iPhone X, and that's how it's going to look. Great. And simply to interact with it, click on it, and it takes you into that specific block. This is a great recipe blog site, part of the Astra theme starter templates. Really recommend this if you are interested in blogging and understanding how you can do pure blogging just with a WordPress editor and the ultimate add-ons for Gutenberg. I think that this does what it does. And the fact that this element is free and this widget has so many controls and styling options, we give it a 5 ferocious cats ratings. Good job, ultimate add-ons for Gutenberg. This is Jabe here at Websites for Beginners.